jump right into this, John. My bad, too. You know what I'm saying? This is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support Grace, Social Activism, Resources, and Art. This is also a re-entry show. It didn't even come out. Did that come out right? It's also a re-entry show, owned, operated by returning citizens. You know what I mean? Shout out to Raw Cannon, Nick. Shout out to all the cannons. My brother Mal. You know what I'm saying? My man Mark. How the ball just pop up like, yeah, I just came back from Ghana. Like, what? Like, you don't just come in and start talking about you just came back from Ghana from talking to some real Africans like myself. What? Like, you got to tell us about the whole situation. But I love when people be able to get full experiences. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I know most black folk is not getting full experiences. Like, even with our vacation patterns, I don't think we kind of go places and do the same shit we do in America. You know what I'm saying? If we go to another country, like we be on some resort shit, and then basically like you just going to the bar, and it's everybody's vacation hood bar. Like, that's how Jamaica kind of is when people be like, I'm going to Jamaica. That's like the vacation hood bar. And it's dope. Because I haven't been to the vacation hood bar yet. I want to go. I ain't scared to go. Because people kind of scared to go to the hood bar. Can't go to the hood bar. But nah, that's how I be thinking sometimes. Like, we need to go places and get full experiences. Like, go into where native folk live. It'd be funny, we come from the places we come from and be scared of other places, man. Like, bro, this is kind of it on the danger side of things, bro. Like, it gets crazier in other places, but Philadelphia, it has a history of being a little extra. But I think we put too much sauce on that too, so I ain't gonna feed into it. Philadelphia has been a dangerous place for a long time, but the levels of the danger gets overblown. It's usually pockets of danger in the city, places where you normally you ain't really supposed to be down there. And these things are made this way because of poverty. So we always got to be honest about that. How do these things come about? Root causes are very important. And shout out to the Village Restoration Project. Shout out to Rakia, the Survivor Justice Network. I'm a part of the Survivor Justice Network. It's a lot of us now. I did this. Me and Rakia did a camps together. We created a program. It's the Village Restoration Project, and it centers on use our program for just about any issue to help teach young folks. We teach them about canvassing as a part of the program. We teach them about research as a part of the importance of data. We teach them about restorative justice and using circles as a way to organize. We give them community organizing principles, skill sets. We also a level of political education. You know what I'm saying? We talk about what a survivor is. Have people join the Survivor Justice Network, but also the Village Restoration Project is something that is a tool that our community can use now. That's how I look at it. And we're training our young people, like I said, to be able to do research and use RJ, but understand that you can use circles to create safe spaces wherever you at. And this is a way for us to have an issue, go door to door, all throughout a particular community, talk to that community, do surveys, do interviews, get data, promote circles in this community as a result of us being in this community doing research. Use the circles to introduce us to the community. Also use those circles to allow folks to know what we're doing in their community. Then have another circle after we've done about 2 months of being in the community, and we can vary the amount of days. But right now we were doing 3 days where we would canvas. We do our briefing circles, briefing circles, and then debriefing circles. That gives the young people an opportunity, because we certify them in art and RJ, not just teaching them so they can be facilitators and trainers. And we do our debriefings and stuff like that to help them get more familiar with doing circles. Then we did a few, and we will always look out to do a few interactions with schools, community, where we can help our young folks utilize the facilitation that we've taught them. And then we use a final circle after we get done in the community where we can do a community celebration, a healing circle, a combination of one or more. And we can also, more than anything, have an intergenerational conversation, because having the young folks be in a community, and we go on the playgrounds, libraries, rec centers, all of these different places, as well as going door to door. Our young folks are able to have an intergenerational conversation. We spark intergenerational conversations because we would just have some folks who didn't do the survey. We still had conversations with them. And we would go and have like 5 or 6 people that we would be talking to, and it would kind of be funny. They would kind of assign 2 people to do the survey, but we actually talking to 6 people. And we asking them questions off of the survey, and people would answer. But that's still good conversation to be having in this community about your community. And now one of the things we would tell the community, like, well, what will this do? So that y'all can have information on y'all community and dictate what solutions look like. People can't come in this community and say, because what we were doing it around in this particular instance, in most instances, what we will do, but it can apply to other issues. Like I said, we did it around safety. What does safety look like? Do police make you safe? Do prisons make you safe? What does safety look like without those things? Because our thing is having a non-carceral solution for harm in the community, for violence in the community, for transgressions in the community. So we wanted to know, like, how people felt about policing, how people felt about cops. Do people feel safe? I pretty much got the whole survey in my head because it was 15 questions. The young folks helped us develop it. During this program going forward, it will be on not necessarily on Survivor Justice Network, but about reimagining what safety looks like in our community without police and prison. Non-carceral solutions. And then I'm working with CNC. So shout out to all the brothers and sisters that I'm working with on the youth advisory board with Care Not Control. And that's one of the biggest things, having that going, doing a little retreat with them, getting to understand the history of what CNC is and that connection that they have to JLC, the Juvenile Law Center, and then ALC, Abolitionist Law Center. And all of these, straight ahead, all of these organizations have the same theme, or what is the cause is like ending death by incarceration, CADB, and and then just prisons in general. Like, what is the purpose? They haven't shown to have any real connection to crime, preventions of crime, reducing of crime. Crime kind of do what it's going to do based off of poverty and economics. And then the prisons are just another part of that poverty and economic system. It's just part of the continuum. It's not really there to, prevent, reduce. It's not really there to do that, rehabilitate, all of those good things. So the 15 questions that we ask around violence and around, harm in the community, and what do we need to come up with solutions to help prevent and reduce harm in our own community. So, I appreciate it. It's the coalition, to abolish death by incarceration. That's Cabby, my bad. So, but these things all fit into the same thing of ending life on parole, dying, death by death by incarceration, by giving people life and saying that, you got to spend the rest of your natural life in prison, having no really alternatives to, if folks are going through these systems and paying a debt to society, should they be able to come home no matter what the crime was. And then I also got a thing with that is like, I was having a conversation. Somebody gave me a lot of life without parole. Yeah, it's not coming out. Shout out to Rakia. I apologize. I know I'm chopping it all up, but I think people understand what I'm saying, and I'm glad that you giving me this clarity so I can get these words correct, because these things are extremely important. And I'm somebody that looks at it like, I tell people, and they always like, you're not a slave, but I'm trying to get you to understand that if I'm on parole, and if the Constitution is saying the 13th Amendment says slavery still exists if you are duly committed of a crime, then that means me being on parole means I'm still a slave because I'm a custody level 1. I'm not finished my sentence. So I know in like how I think of myself, but I'm talking about the system that we're going by. If we say we believe in the Constitution, we believe in voting and all of these things that come with saying that we believe in this American system, at the same time saying that this system has not been, proper handlers of black people, for lack of a better word, extreme lack of a better word. Like, this system has not treated us right. So with the system saying what it is, the 13th Amendment says slavery has never ended. I am someone who was duly committed of a crime, held in captivity by law. This is what they saying on the 13th Amendment. So me being on parole, I'm just a custody level 1. So, and that I'm still a slave, correct? That's what the Constitution says, right? I'm not making that up. That's not what I want to label myself as. I'm just saying, as it pertains to the system that we say we want to work in, we want to believe in and all that, that's what's really going on. So if you don't want to abolish those things, it comes back to that question of, do you believe in slavery? Is slavery something that you okay with, if we can make it sound good enough, or you can maybe benefit from it a little bit in a more direct way? I'm just going by what the paper says. Not the paper I got, but the paper that they made up. Well, no, you know what I'm saying?
You just gotta look at it like the system is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like, the system is doing what it's meant to do. So if people don't understand, like, all right, you trying to nitpick and get different aspects, like voting for Trump. Trump is a racist. I'm like, yo, name me a president that wasn't racist. like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, that's not enough.
This is what this is.
This system is racist. I mean, like, you have to understand that dealing with this system, we're in America.
This is what you have to be willing to deal with if you taking part in this system. and that, the crazy thing about that is, I don't think we always, some people. And I did learn this from the survey. And I definitely want my brother to chime in. But before I do that, because I don't want to forget, because like I said, I remember most of the questions off the top of my head. So it's, we ask, do you feel safe in your community? Do you feel safe in Philadelphia overall? Do you feel a sense of responsibility to your community to make it better? Do you fear young people? Do you fear for young people? Give us 3 things that you think causes violence. Give us 3 things that you think may be able to prevent, 3 contributing factors, 3 preventative factors or reduction factors. We ask, do you feel police make your community safer? Do you believe prisons make your community safer? Do you have and this is a really, really great question. Do you have a relationship with anybody outside of your generation in your community, or just in general? But we're asking more to your community. If you 60, do you talk to people that's 40? Do you talk to anybody that's 20? You know what I'm saying? This could be niece, nephews, young people that's running around, but we want to know, are you having any intergenerational conversation? Because that's a big problem in our community. So we ask, do you have any relationships with anybody outside of your generation? We ask them, were they familiar with RJ? We asked them, and that's restorative justice. We asked them, do you have anybody who has spent, more than 5 years in prison, or like in and out, or just straight 5 or over 5, but at least 5 years in prison? What was the other John? I know I'm forgetting something. That's like 13. But y'all can pretty much get the idea. So, do you feel safe, community? Do you feel safe in Philly? Do you fear young people? Do you fear for young people? Give me 3 contributors either way on violence. Do you know what restorative justice? What do you think of when you hear stop and frisk? Exactly. What do you think when you hear stop and frisk or tough on crime? What comes to mind? Are you familiar or anything? Like, when somebody say that, what do you think? And have they been impacted by violence or harm in the community? You know what I'm saying? And would you like to share? Now, some questions we would ask, like, why? Me and Rakia, we didn't bump heads, but it would be like, why aren't you asking them why? Because I was like, why is extremely important, because a person will say something and then you say why, and then they can go into whatever comes off of it. But my thing was like, and we wanted that. And we still really had, we still really had a lot of great conversations. But my thing was more like, let me just get the true answer. Let me just let you say the first thing that comes out of your mouth when I ask you this question, even if you just say yes. Because what that's telling me is, how much do you even care about it? Do you understand it? Because people thinking like not wanting to answer to John or writing dumb stuff on there don't really account for the survey. It does. You get this survey, you hear these things, and you don't take them serious. That's something we need to know too. Why are so? Because what we seen was we did majority of the survey of 25 and under. I think our biggest number, but then our second biggest number, maybe more, but close to, was 51 and older. Folks that was 25 to 50, they weren't around. They weren't answering doors, so they must wasn't, even if they were answering the doors, they didn't answer the survey. If they were answering doors, it's just like that group of people was missing. They didn't want to answer it. We went to a lot of folks that was like around my age, your age, 30, 40, who didn't want to answer. They may have had an opinion. They didn't want to do the survey. It was kind of funny, like, and then it shows up in the survey that group of people is missing. So this is the funniest part about that, though. It's like, okay, the young people have a strong opinion. The older people have a strong opinion. They're not talking. They don't like each other. The older people, yes, older people do not. Older black people, what I've learned in Mantua, and y'all could be upset with me, but I said something about it. Y'all don't like y'all young people at all. That's what the survey. We did over 200 surveys. We asked a large section of 50 and older, and we talked to a large section of 25 and under. The people who were missing are the people who causing the problem. They the people all the older people talking about. The parents. Because all them kids at that age, they parents is my age. They in their 30s and 40s. So the parents that everybody talking about, it's the parents, it's the parents, it's the parents. It's that group. But this is the funny thing about those older people. Those are your children. You hate your grandbabies. In this community, like, that's how it really shakes out. And a funny thing that I said to them that I noticed was people gave the police a chance. They gave the young people no chance. They were saying stuff like, the cops are trying and we need them on the beat and they need to know the people and this, that, and the third. So it was like this thing until you dug in, which usually came, nah, they don't do nothing for us. Then why on his face do y'all always say that they do? Why on his face do y'all say they protect you? What rhetoric, and this is my question, what rhetoric, who is working on the police's messaging that your initial thing is you don't want to tell people that the police don't do shit? Because hold on. Because that's what they don't do shit. No, listen. But initially when we were asking people, they was like, nah, I believe they make us safe. Is this these little motherfuckers don't listen, they wild, but once you dig in, then you start finding out the police don't really do shit. But when you ask them initially, they like, no, the police, we need them to be on the beat. They know the stuff that's going on. Like, they want the police and believe that the police can make them safe, and that's what they talk about. But then when you dig in, they tell you how much the police don't make them safe. So my thing is, they don't give the young people that opportunity. It's no people that was saying to us, the young people are trying. If you just give the young people, nobody was saying that. This is what they would say about the police and give them an opportunity to only say from history, these motherfuckers don't do anything or haven't done anything. But the children don't get that reprieve. They don't say, and then the next thing is the parents. But you created the parents. This group of people who's saying this, who don't give the little babies a chance, they ready to send them to jail, calling the cops on them. Oh, I'm not making it up.
Do you think that's new?
No, it's not new, because black people are very conservative, and we don't like to acknowledge that about ourselves. Like, we believe in like law and order and all that type of shit. Rather, we can say it come directly from how we were treated by our oppressors. But if you look with black people, if you see what we spend our money on, you see religiously how we operate. If you see when it comes to education, we are very conservative. Yeah. We are not as liberal as we think. Black people are not that liberal. I'm telling. I mean, go ahead. I'm listening. I just wanted to get a lot of that out, so.
When it comes to what do you mean? You see liberal?
So when I say
that liberal,
okay,
I think we very liberal in certain.
So when you look overall, let's just say religion, conservative religion is normally Christian. Most of the folks that you know come from a Christian background, and they still operate in that background. They still think that things should go according to your Christian values.
Okay.
That's still a dominant thought. Yeah, we don't see it like that because we live in Philadelphia and we are a Muslim city. But then when you even look at those Muslims who are Orthodox Muslims, they're very strict in how they're very conservative in how they operate with religion.
Okay.
We're not very liberal in our religious, like we think we are because we are super spiritual people. But these religions that we have been taught, and then we always got to remember, even with knowing all we know about our spirituality, a lot of those folks that came over was Muslim. And they were Orthodox Muslim. They were disciplined in the way that they did things. And the European unraveled that because I can't have you have that same discipline, so I gotta get this Islam shit out of here, zap you all the way out, and give you Christianity. Even with corporal punishment, that's a thing that we're just getting into, of saying corporal punishment doesn't work, or even if we even believe that, that's considered conservative. Having that thing about corporal punishment, like an eye for an eye, all of that type of stuff, that's conservative. We rock with that. We tell our children that. He hit you, you hit him back.
Yeah, it's only this new generation that's
considered like conservative.
There's
It's other things that I could go into. Conservative is the other thing about abortion. We're not liberal when it comes to abortion. We don't believe in abortion overall. When you talk to black people, a lot of that comes from our religious beliefs. But overall, we didn't believe in killing our children. I know y'all don't like me saying it like this, but this is really what it is. Because you can also look that up. More black people have died from abortions in our neighborhood. It was documentaries made about it. Look it up. I didn't make it up. Sorry. Planned Parenthood made it up. I'm sorry. They did it to y'all. They told y'all this was a route. But anyway, those are conservative thoughts, not to be about abortion. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Most black people go down those conservative lines. I know we like to believe that we're super liberal, but in our everyday, you know what I'm saying? Like in our everyday movements, the other thing, when you start getting into like taxation and all that, black people believe in the free market more than you know. On some conservative, like we believe in the free market, give us the ability to control our own destiny. That independence with money. That's a reason why some people, they don't know how to address it, but that's one of the reasons why they like Trump. Because black people believe in the ability to just like, let us get the money. We'll figure the rest of shit out. We've been doing it historically. We really don't want all the programs and all that shit. Like the Social Security. Yeah. Like overall, black people say we want stuff that works for those in need, but for the most part, we don't want that. We just want y'all to be fair. Let the system be fair and we won't need programming. And a lot of people don't know that about our people, because think about it. We created the program model that they started using on us. Because that's what we needed to do it because of the history, but that's something we already always came from. Take care of the community. That's not new to us. But those programs in the way in which they put them on us have us having this fake ass like the government is the parent type shit. We don't believe in that liberal shit like that. That's liberal shit. The whole go to the government for every type of programming. They put us in a fucked up position where we need this stuff, but when you ask black people overall, they don't want that. They just want you to open up the system and let it be fair, and we'll get it how we live. That's conservative thought for real. People don't know that. The program, wanting programs is liberal thought.
I think the main thing black people really want from historically, even on the Jim Crow era, just leave us alone.
Leave me the fuck alone, right? That's
like
exactly.
Just
give me some land and leave me the fuck alone.
Let us rock and leave us alone, and we gonna be cool.
And when they
we gonna make it work.
And when they did, we did the shit. We took barren land, and the motherfucker came with the pitchfork and the fire. Like, how y'all don't need us? Because we never needed y'all. Y'all need us.
Right.
Y'all need us. It shows.
That's when.
All the way down to the melanin in the sack. We can have a conversation about that, but I'm not doing that today. But y'all know I love talking about that anyway. But the melanin in the sack, that's the real key to this whole story. So, we doing this canvas. You know, like I said, the Village Restoration Project, I thought it was the thing that really stands out to me about it. And shout out to all my young folks. I've been calling his brother Latif secretly. I always be messing his name up, Khalif. His cousin in here too. He don't know this. Every time we be in like a circle or something, and I always be. I know his name is Khalif. I don't know why Latif kept coming. That was like one of like the behind the scenes where we was putting the program together, the stuff that nobody know. When we write about it years later, it's like, well, what was one of the things that was happening behind the scenes? And well. The whole time, Jarue was calling Khalif Latif. And then when he would come around, he would like, remember? Because other people would be saying his name. I know his name, but that was something that always happened. But shout out to that brother. I appreciate how we was real communal with how we did the program with him. That's something that I want to make sure that we can continue to do that. You know, he's a father. He's a single father. Well, he's a father. And the child has a mother. The mother is involved. He is involved because we're not going to do all the labels. He is a father.
Hold on.
And some of the times when no, that's his cousin though. That's his cousin. So I can tell this story a little bit better because, but the people in our community, in our network, in our circle, when we needed childcare for him to be able to do the program, which he got certified in something that he can definitely use as a father, he got able to build network with people who could help him do other things in his life as a father, as a man that's going to always feed into him being a dad. So him being able to do it and us being able to like cater it a little bit to, you know, what he needed, you know, and what each young person needs, if we can do that, that was dope to me. He definitely let us know he really appreciated it. We definitely keep in the contact on help him get other opportunities and all that. But that was dope doing that for him, and then being able to have some things to help him after we finished doing the 2 months, because it was really like a summer program. And then Anwar Z, I was like on them a little bit, but they took it very serious. I had one conversation with Anwar about being on time and all that, and then after that, I didn't have to go pick them up all the time. Something that I normally have to do. Like if I don't go get them, it ain't gonna get done. But they was there, they was on time, they was there before me, they was there before her kids sometimes. So, and every day they would be there. So after having that conversation, one of the things you want when you trying to assist people, it's like when motherfuckers get it, like when you tell somebody something and they click, it's like, damn, this the only thing I be wanting. And then they'll be like, why the rest of you motherfuckers can't do this? Like, no. But it'd be a love feeling to have a conversation with somebody and be like, yo, this is what you got to do. This is the reason why you got to do it. This is how it's going to benefit you. And they be like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. And then they go do the shit. Like, that feeling is, I wouldn't say that's why I do this, because I do what I do to push black people forward, but it feel good. It's like you just want to battle on a battlefield. Because you not listening, we might not have no conversations after this. Like, if you don't listen to certain shit, we really could not have a conversation. Like, if I'm telling you the importance of something and then you don't listen, your life could be on the line. You could lose all your money. You could get hurt. I might have to tell you, listen, you can't do this with me. So if it don't click, it might have to be some other shit that I don't want to do, because we going to be further behind because you ain't getting what you need right now. So
is that the hard part though? Like, knowing you might have to repeat the message over and over and over. And you know some people ain't going to get it. Like, a certain percentage of people just ain't going to do it.
Ain't going to get it.
Like, you can tell them everything. And like you say, some people will get it, hear it, understand it, and go put it into application.
Right.
But not everybody does that.
That's true.
But so you're going to have to constantly repeat yourself, and seeing people, talking to people and seeing them listen and not do it, and not, it can get you just to be like, you know what, I'm done. Fuck.
Yeah. Nah,
so is that hard for you?
No, it's not. It's frustrating. It's funny, like, people be like, yo, you talk a lot. And it be like, yeah, I do. But I know that my role is to talk to people. Because I really don't be wanting to talk. I really just want to be in the space on chill. Like, I don't really have to say nothing, but like, for real. But I know that I know, because of whatever time that I got to get information. So it's like, I gotta tell motherfuckers. I'm like, you know how they say with the superhero shit, like, with great power comes great responsibility. Like, bro, I really do know knowledge really is power. Like, that's not a crazy slogan. Like, that's not a slogan that's not real, because I experience it in the spaces that I be in. One of the examples that I use a lot, and why I don't mind keep telling people shit over and over in hopes that they get it. Is it frustrating? Depending on who the person is, that shit has more of a hurt, want you to quit, how I'm gonna do this shit, changing your whole strategy type of feeling to it. Like, I need to do something different because this person, somebody I love, or this person, somebody I really need to get, is like dealing with your children. And they don't get it. And it's like, fuck, because this my baby and I know how detrimental it is. I love the other children like that, but it's like, damn, this is my baby. Yeah. This is a person that looked like me. This is a person that came from me. So them not getting it, and I know what this shit could turn into, that's when that shit be like, change strategy. You might be like, fuck it. I'm going to say fuck everybody else. I only concentrate on them. So it's like, nah, I don't feel it. But I don't like talking as much as people may think I like talking. I just know that this is my responsibility because I really do be in rooms where I know people just really don't know.
See,
you know what I'm saying? Because and that continues to happen.
Because I'm more so sometimes, I'll get the like, yo, I'm done with this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, all right, I did what I could do. I'm done, man.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I have to fight that.
Environments, though, I think that's more. I think environments change. I want to change an environment. Like, I'll change people out. It's one of those things that I do say where it's like, if this group of people ain't gonna love me, there's a whole bunch of other people that I'm gonna be able to be reciprocal on what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's more environments. Like, I want to change the environment because I already know people are kind of like fixed, like my brother said, in a certain way. So I'm gonna have to do this regardless. But it's the environments where I feel like, I don't want to do it in this environment no more. Or I want to change my timing in this environment. How much am I around here? How much am I around those people? Like, this environment right here, I might need to take a break from it for a while. Because I do believe you can take breaks from people and will back. I do believe that. And I think we allow things to get to the point where it can't come back. And I'm one of those people that's like that, where I was like, because I want to get clarity on what the fuck is going on, I may allow you to go too far where you're not going to be able to self-correct. It's like, damn, you went this far, but I had to find out what the fuck was going on. But now you went so far, I can't fuck with you no more. In the process, I'm hoping that you self-correct so I can, like, once I can see what's going on, like, oh, that's what the fuck going on. All right. Or, now I'm giving you the opportunity to self-correct.
Or you want them to see, all right, I got to let you fuck up so I can.
Yeah.
Because until you fuck up, me telling you, is not gonna do it because you feel like you good.
I don't, on some real shit, bro. I don't be liking that shit. I don't feel like dealing with the shit because it's like you let a motherfucker fuck up again. The nigga probably or the woman, they might fuck up so bad. It's like, fuck, like, yo, I can't do you no more. Like, I understand why this happened and everything, but it's like, nah, I can't, and I'm not. And the thing be like, with that shit, it's like too many other people lose while I keep trying to utilize whatever resource it is on you. Like, it's one of those things of, you can hold a person's hand to a certain extent, but at a certain point, they need an action plan. That's clinical talk, all the good shit, all in there. You can I believe you should definitely hold people's hands. Because some people just really don't know. Like, seriously don't fucking know. It will blow your mind. Don't matter the age. Like, you really didn't know that? No, I didn't. Like, I didn't get to that level of development. And I just been getting older.
Yeah,
and
I think it's a balance. I think it is a balance, though, like what you were speaking on earlier. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, people want to be, their hands being held, but we all are human.
Right.
And I mean, the person that I understand my role, so I am going to be talking.
Right.
And I am going to say this thing in a repeated, you know what I mean, in a repeated effort and a repeated time because I understand my role.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to come a point where, like, it's like seasons. You know what I mean? It's a season for everything. So, like, if it's a time where it's like things are still budding and it's feeling like something got to change, I'm going to create that change so you can, you know what I mean? So it'll allow you to learn, understand what I'm trying to,
right,
what I was trying to give to you.
Yeah, because it don't always go like, left. But
what is this next thing for me to? What is this next? How does this relationship need to look next?
Right.
You know what I mean? And we don't always get to see that all the time with each other because it's like, damn, I fuck with this person, or you know what I mean? I'm kind of invested in this way. I kind of want to see this thing, but we don't really like to sit with that. Damn, I might not be able to see that shit in this nigga right. I might have to slide out.
Right.
And that nigga might come back later and be like, oh.
it's an
might have
issue
got it.
because it's like the short term thinking thing. Like it's like, damn, if you let this joint play out a little bit, you'll see where it's gonna be beneficial. But we so much short term thinkers, and you trying to change that in people. Like people trying to keep getting you to do the immediate thing, and it's like, nah, we gotta be consistent and ride this road. I'm telling you, this shit is gonna happen. It's going. As long as you put in and you keep putting in, it's gonna happen. This shit is just how the world works. I'm not making up any new strategy.
Right.
You dedicate to yourself to something in any way, you're gonna build something out of it, and that's what they keep having us do. Like we scared of failure, even though we live in failure. So you might as well take the risk. It's funny because we'll take certain risks that people tell us, like, yeah, this is how you gonna get up, but it's all short term. You're taking risks for short term gain, and you're not getting it. The risk is usually costing you more than whatever your gain was going to cost. But the long term, where you gotta like methodically go,
Plow through
you gotta plow through it. You gotta stay disciplined. We gotta see it all the way through. You don't live in that world because you think failure is so imminent. Like that's what you living in. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna fail somewhere along the line. We never gonna get there. I wasted my time. I might as well try to keep doing these quick things to see if I can win the lottery. Cause that's what people be doing. I'm trying to win the lottery. I'm trying to hit that joint one time, boom. And it's funny because I think me and Ma just talking about the rappers, and I was like, it's funny that you be thinking dudes pop like this, but if you go back and look at their history, they always got the dirty young boy joint that every rapper got that. The dirty young boy, or before anybody knew him, and it wasn't like 22, they was the dirty young boy, and then 23, they was on. That shit don't work like that. Even the niggas who, even though it looked like they just got it.
It was 6 people in
the car. It was 6, yeah, but it was 6 years in the making. When we look at the videotape from the time that you was, the first Dirty Young Boy tape you got, the grainy joint with all y'all in the sweatshirts or in the t-shirts, your hair nappy looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Until the time where you expensive painting a nigga, it's like, bro, that was like 12 years. The nigga really grind at this shit, and he be telling you, he can't tell you too much about the grind for real. He gotta make it sound like the street grind. But really, it was just me being in the stew, just going to shows, opening up for people, doing interviews, doing magazine interviews, doing Instagram interviews, doing radio interviews, going around, traveling around, being in meetings about what you gonna do next, doing promo, all of that shit. That's what you was doing.
Performing in front of 10 people.
From 10 people, then it was 100 people, then it was 200 people. Yeah. So it's like, that was y'all don't see that part, and they don't want you to. They want you to think everything happens like this, and it don't. So, willing back to what I was saying about Anwar and the young people doing the canvas, I said that to them. At times, I knew they was taking it serious, but it was one of those things where I'm like, they 15, they 17, they are playing, but they serious about it because they come and they asking the questions, they doing what's asked of them. You know what I mean? They are learning. I felt like you could learn at a more accelerated pace if you also take it upon yourself to learn when nobody's around, called studying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to do the work in real time with a bunch of people and like, yeah, I'm doing the work. But then once those people leave, and we're going to have the next meeting, and how do we progress the thought if nobody is taking it upon themselves to revisit what we were talking about as a group? That's another reason why when we get to those next meetings, it still seemed like it take 3 meetings to have one progressive meeting. And that's because people not taking the information that we have in our initial meeting and really digesting it on their own time. Really going back and reading those meeting notes. Going back and reading some of the information that we talk about, some of the strategies we talk about, some of the money, the grants, all of that different stuff in between the next meeting. So when we get there, the progress can be quicker because everybody up, everybody on it. And that comes with everything we do. So I feel like when they came to the spot, they were very willing doing the work. But I don't think in between the days where we wasn't canvassing or we wasn't getting together, I don't think that they were studying it as much as they should have been studying it. And not really even taking it serious, but it goes beyond my instruction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to interject a little bit, I think Anwar represented himself very well up in Vermont this past weekend. It was a couple brothers asked because he had the shirt on when he first got up there. Right. The Survivor Justice Network, and a lot of people was asking him like, "What is it? Right. I mean, what you do?" And I'm within earshot because there's a bunch of people around. Right. Within earshot, hearing him represent it well, like right. We go through the neighborhood, we check in with people. You know what I mean? We try to figure out how people are feeling about. You know what I mean? To conditions on which we are living in and how they feel about whether we could change them or not. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I thought that was dope. And this was him not on cue, like not around you, not around nobody else, just up there having to represent this joint by himself.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm not like right there up on it. I'm kind of doing my thing, and he's doing his thing.
Yeah, because he got to learn that. Yeah. He got to know how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
It was dope. It was
heavy
dope.
on the networking.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I learned networking in prison. I didn't read anybody's networking book. I learned networking in prison just because I wanted to know about like different people's lives. And what that started doing is they telling me about their lives, like about pensions and about, you know, what benefits in the union, shit that I didn't really know about. And some of the stuff that I had read about, hearing people explain how the union works, why it works like that. How are they able to, you know, a motherfucker come to work drunk 5-6 times, get suspended for 90 days with pay, have to do some groups and still maintain his job. They came up with those different type of systems, like when they every couple of years when they fighting over the, you know, they having their arbitration and they arguing over the give and take of what do y'all need to add to our benefits versus what we gonna stay the same or what they taking away. So it would be stuff like your medical coverage, we can take $20 from that and add 20 to your pay. I'm just making like a fake negotiation of how it would go. And the jail had a certain reason why they wanted to take away some of the medical versus giving you the pay. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though the pay would work better for them because it's a hard cap on that, so to speak, until you get a raise or something like that. And when you get raises, all of that is documented. How much they paying for medical is wild. You know what I mean? And any way they can start chipping away at that, because they'll start a negotiation with 5 years in plan. So all we need to do is open the conversation up to y'all where we're playing with something that was always solid. And then now every time we come to the meeting, something that was solid is now negotiable because y'all open it up. So when they made that thing to say, all right, we want to trade some of your medical off for higher pay, they had a plan of why they wanted to do that, where they wanted to go. And then the people from the union supposed to have, you know, your union bosses and leaders and all that. They supposed to be strategists and lawyers and understand, you know, policies, procedures, all of that stuff as well. And this is shit that I didn't know shit about. I didn't know that they had this ongoing struggle, like with the teachers union. It gave me better understanding about the teachers union. It made me look into that more because they always going at the school district and our children are in the balance. And it would be like, damn, is it okay for the children not to have school in order for y'all to fight for y'all pay? I'm confused. What do y'all benefit packages look like? How many people is out on leave and still getting paid? You know, so it's like you start asking all these questions based on what do the union do? What can they do? So that was like new information, and I started networking around that. People started telling me about stuff going on at the dock and all that type of stuff.
But that's the benefit of intergenerational conversation, being able to talk to different people. So that's why I asked you, like, do you think it's a new thing earlier? Because it seemed like when I was young, it was the same issues. You feel what I'm saying? Like we was going through the same thing. Like we didn't rock with the older people, and they thought we was monsters, super predators, and all that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So it's the same thing now. So I'm like, damn, it's 20 years later, and we still fight over the same issues.
I don't know. I think what you about to say. You about to say something? Yeah. You can pull the stool up. Yeah. Pull the stool up. We can hear you though. These mics is extra sensitive. I mean, I like them Johns.
I just had a question because you said.
Here you go right here.
All right, when y'all was younger, it was like that. Like y'all ain't really mess with the old heads and all that. But then it's like, with that being the case, how y'all turn into the old heads that don't fuck with us?
Because cats took on this solo mentality, like it's just me and my gang. Like that's how we move. Like it was kind of like all the old heads from like dudes is going to not be honest, but they might be honest about it. But it was drugs made it easier for you to use young boys. And then I do remember like being 14, 15, 16 years old, and the dudes that we was hustling for was young boys too. I just didn't know that. I didn't know 21 at that time was young. So I'm 14, you 21, you got some work. I'm kind of looking to that. Like I don't know where to go to get the work. You older, you know how to do it. But what it started turning into was these dudes just start using young boys. Especially once motherfuckers realize young boys don't go, you not going, somebody, they can just go get you from juvenile detention or whatever, from the pre-state, whatever. They can go get you. It ain't no case gonna be assigned to. It might be a little loss, and then they don't even know. I remember motherfuckers didn't even want. They figured out the young boys didn't really clearly know. Like, could you get the drugs back and could you get the money back? And young boys start using it too. Like, I got booked, but you really fucked that money up. You know what I'm saying? And you got booked, but it was one of those things where drugs made it okay for these dudes to use us, bro. And some young boys start realizing they was being used. And the way that they articulated that frustration was burning them. Not wanting we be young boys saying, we don't got no fucking old heads. Because, like, we out here, too. So now young boys is shooting. We got guns. We robbing shit. We robbing each other. So it's like the old heads was having the same mindset they got now. But it was a more direct line to the usury. A lot of these dudes is scared of the gunplay for real, for real. You didn't necessarily have to get into gunplay when drugs was the thing. Like, dudes could, like, use their money to maneuver and never have to be violent, or get dudes who are violent on the payroll, you know, or hang with those type of dudes. And they ain't gonna make you food necessarily because you the connect. You the one with the smarts to get this shit popping. They might not necessarily respect you, but the money is what they respect. But when they see that opportunity, because they do think you a bitch. I heard that conversation too many times as a young boy. This nigga's a bitch for real. How he getting money? Because he's smart. He know how to organize this shit, or he know how to get the line. He know how to finesse. He know how to talk. He know how to politic, as they say. You don't know how to do that. You just push play. You just kill shit. And niggas don't even really want you in the room because they think you gonna rob shit, fuck shit up, because bodies kill the money. And a lot of niggas didn't understand that. And a lot of young boys didn't understand that. And they didn't give a fuck about it. So it was like, if you old heads not gonna move how we want to move, and y'all not really out here for us for real, we just gonna cause a bunch of problems. We gonna start shooting shit, killing shit. You know what I mean? And then jail exacerbates the shit, because it be like the young boys versus the old heads. Like, these not as old heads, these not as wild young boys, they don't want to. So that shit been kind of like a thing. The whole old heads using you and lying to you, or just being fucking scared of you. You feel me? Now the generation before that, I think is a little different before it cracked, because my brother and them did operate a little differently. And my uncles and them, they was missing in a different way. You know what I'm saying? It was other shit, but they were around in terms of the uncle that beat you up, the big brother, the big cousin you scared of. Like, they kept us in line, but drugs kind of like,
yeah, see,
that shit was over.
I think we missing investment. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people of, like, say the 30s and 40s don't have the time to invest into, like, the younger people. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest, like, you did time in prison too, though, so you know a lot of development comes with who you around. You feel what I'm saying? And like I say, it was kind of luck. I ran into some good people that kind of could steer me in the right direction, because I'm young, wild, ready to go at a drop of a hat. And they could have just put a battery in my back and we gonna use him to go out. Right. But they showed me how to, nah, young, you should do this. You should do this.
To think more.
So when it was my turn, I was doing the same thing. I kept young boys around me. I tried to, like, show them, you can do this, that, and the third. But now that I'm out here, I gotta get together. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance, because you need time to invest. So going to prison and all that stuff, it separates you from your community. Whereas even if you get back, you gotta now invest in yourself, because one thing young boys don't respect is one thing they do respect is results. If you got your shit together, you know what I mean? You got paper, like, oh no. I'm gonna respect what he say, because I see the results.
I see the results.
I see the results. So if you in the same position I am, it's hard for me to tell you something. Like, yo, damn, man, you 20 years my elder, but we got the same struggle.
We got the same shit going on.
That's a real joint. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a real joint.
So a lot of times, like, that's the goal of the system, is to separate us, whereas we old against young, light skin versus dark skin, man versus woman. You know what I'm saying? It's all these
verses,
all these wars in our community, and it's by design. But their system separating us really has a lot to do with it, because, like I say, you know, we talked about how you like to invest in people, you can talk to people and all that stuff.
But I had somebody invest in me the same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Upstate, I definitely had somebody the same way I am. He was like that with me. And I was looking for all the shit. Like, this nigga is a freaky boy. Like, what type time he on? He trying to use me for protection. Like, what type time he on? Like, what's your thing? Oh, like, but the more and more he talked, and then I asked him that, like, what, like, I said, how have you been able to do? Because at the time that I met him, he had 25 in. more time than I've been on the planet. So I'm like, all right, how the fuck you do this? And he was like, yo, you gotta have purpose. Like, you gotta wake up every day with some type of purpose. Yeah. And my purpose is so no young boy could wind up like me, because he was doing a 30 to 60. So if I can run into you and you got an opportunity to go home or whatever the case may be, I'm trying to give you all the information I can give you, so you don't wind up like me. And what he would do is he would chase information so he could always be ahead of the conversation. And then once he know you, like, and I'm shout out to Seeking Booze out. Once he knew like you was open to it, now when he would see you, he just asking you shit. You seen the news? What you think about that? What you think about what they said about the young boy? You think that was true? Where they get that information from? Who was the person that told them that this was what it was? Why would they put that up there on the news like that? Like, you gotta really understand how you being viewed, and a nigga never thought about that. Not me in particular, but this is how he would go at bulls once you start seeing he walking around with books and he talking, and he ain't want shit. Like, he ain't want shit. He wanted to, like I'll be saying, he wanted to push black folk forward because he had rare information. He seen that this shit was systematic. He had dealt in the system in a way where he seen them even play with their own laws when they want to. So now when he reading about these things historically, he know this wasn't just a one-off with him. That he ain't just fall trap victim to this shit because he put himself in it. It's like, nah, this shit is a continuum. And whenever they want to change the rules on us, I got case law to show it. In this case, you let this person go. In this case, you kept me for 30 years. And I got to argue that point in the court. It ain't even like a thing I could just send into somebody and be like, all right, if you look at this and look at this, how niggas be upstate, like, bro, look at this shit. Look at this shit. And then you got to go through this whole process to just get that scene when it's real clear. So him dealing with his sentencing like that, and I don't think he would mind folks telling, like, he had 3 homicides. You know what I'm saying? And he beat 2. You know, like, off his own fucking brain. Like, in this bitch, he did something with the word substantive. And he said, if you use this word in a sentence in a certain way, it changed the whole definition of the sentence. And if the witness said that this, or the prosecutor or whoever it was, said that this was substantive, now I could show where it wasn't, and it is more deeper than that. But he used a word to change the wording and said, if you're using that word, then the evidence that you say you have is not true, because substantive changes the evidence. It adds something. It adds some emphasis or not to the words that are being said, so they come out with a different meaning. So when somebody reads that, they're not reading actually what happened. Like, this how you got, but this how you got to play with this shit. So he beat 2 cases off his own fucking brain, studying, reading the law. That's another reason why he moves how he moved, because he was like, I'm not a fucking lawyer, and I just studied and got myself out of 2 homicides. Niggas need to read. And I'm going to push niggas to read because I just did it from reading. I didn't know law before I came to jail. I start reading this shit and start understanding it. Now I done got 2 homicides off my back. And then the politics came, so he seen that. Because the 3rd homicide, he could have beat that too, but they told him, like, we ain't letting you beat all 3 of these, Jones. First of all, we know you and your brother be out here doing whatever y'all doing. Y'all probably actually did this. You know what I'm saying? And you're not a fucking lawyer. You a nigger. How the fuck you in here banging out with us and we done took the bar and all this old wild ass shit? We're not allowing you to go. Fuck no. You're going to fight this one in appeal. So they gave him a 35 to 70. That's your reward for being smart enough. Most niggas would have never went home. Your reward is you're going to still do 35 years. Politics, we're going to play that game because we see you figured our shit out. So we can't, no, now we just got to change the goalposts. We just got to move that joint like, nah, that ain't the shit no more. You can't use, huh?
It's home now.
Yeah, nah, he live in Oklahoma and shit. He stay out there with his daughter and everything.
I say this shit all the time, especially to you. Like, the time thing, like, that shit really I can't wrap my head around it.
Right.
Like, that's a long fucking time. Like, so, like, you saying that cuz beat 2 of the bodies, like, bro, everything really is in a book. Like, one word can really change everything. Bro.
Everything, bro.
That shit really just be crazy. Just imagine, like, it's probably 30,000 people that never knew that. Probably got the same thing, used the same sentence, and got spanked.
Exactly. And that was his thing. And going back to the canvas, that's a big part of why I'm saying what I'm saying about Z, because Z really took it. Z laughed a lot and played a lot, but I think still she, slowly but surely, she got it. Like, and my thing is, I want them to be thinking. I want them to be in spaces and y'all have your own thought, not what Uncle Jarue think. not what your supervisor thinks, not what the company you work for, not the organization you move for, whatever it is. You need to be able to think in the spaces that you in. And that's another thing about having them out there. And I'm a big proponent of conversation being a great way to teach, because that's what me and my elder did. Like, we would read books and we were writing each other books and all that, and a group of other brothers that would, you know, come and go and pass and everything. But it was like the conversation is what we were searching out. Because in jail, that's another thing. Reason why jail niggas talk so much, because that's all you really got. Is talking. You know what I'm saying? Then we could talk about some real shit, or we could do a lot of lying.
Right.
Because niggas do a lot of lying because they don't have nothing else to do. Like, it's like your information base is empty, so you just make shit up.
No, but also you learn how to communicate in there because you grow up in there. But and especially like I didn't like writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like all through school, I was good at math, good at reading comprehension, good at sports and all that stuff. But English, all that writing shit, man, I went with all that.
Mm-hmm.
I get to jail when that's my only means of communication. Mm-hmm. Became a beast with the pen. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Like I became. People couldn't wait to get my letters. Like, oh man, your letters are like spectacular. And all that stuff. Like they're so deep and introspective. You make me think. So
I got a lot of that. Man. When motherfuckers responded to the letter based on, I tell people this all the time because it's one of the things that blows my mind. You can write somebody a letter and they will write a whole bunch of completely different. They won't answer nothing your letter said. It's a wild thing to get a letter. You wrote your letter, and I keep rough drafts of my shit. That's what I was doing upstate, because I had to, when it happened to me, I was doing it anyway because I learned writing. Like I learned that you supposed to write a rough draft first. That's something I learned in school, so you can make sure the shit that you sending is accurate. You can't just. It's like when people be saying, you listen to your voice messages before you send them. Yes, like I don't know what the fuck I actually just said just now. Anything could have came out. I could have mispronounced some shit. Anything. They be like, why you do that? Like, I'm proofreading, motherfucker. Like what? So now, no, that's just a joke. But it is a real thing, man, about being like a person. You send a person a letter, bro, and they send everything different back. It's like, is this the letter? I didn't write this letter, but I did get a lot of, damn, what you reading in there? Like, damn, this shit sound, I never thought about it this way. Now, whether people acted on it or not, which I wish they would, when people be like, man, like, how long it took you to write this letter and your handwriting and all that, I'm like, don't worry about all that. Just enjoy the letter, man. And send me the correct response back.
I would write a rough draft because, you know, when I'm inspired, I'll just write shorthand things that only I understand, and then I'll go through it and make it legible for somebody else. But I'm going to tell you something I used to do when I was young that used to help me. I used to talk to my future self. Like, how old are you?
He be talking about that a lot on here.
Huh?
I'm 23.
23? All right, well, talk to the 35-year-old you. Like, where you see yourself at 35, how you see yourself looking at 35, what you see yourself into at 35. And at 35, vision him, but him talking to you right now. So what you going to do to help your 35-year-old help him out? You got to do something to help him. You got to put him in position to do things, because if you don't do it, you fucking him over.
And the crazy part about all that is, like, even thinking 2 years ahead was like a crazy thing for me to really grasp. Like, especially for me, because it's like, bro, everything is happening right now. I can't think about what's about to happen next week, because all I know is in the moment this is what's going on. But it's like I say it to these boys all the time, like me and them, like kind of like made me really start what's that shit? A vision board type jump, like just on some goals, short term, long term, and all that. And it's like certain things I started accomplishing. Like I got my diploma, I got my license. I'm about to get into some other stuff. But it's like, I can't keep this. Like, how can I fit it? Like, just wanted to make sure I'm letting everybody know like how grateful I am that it is somebody that was like, all right, bro, you gotta think of the future. Cause I got a son too. So it's like I'm thinking about certain things, but I'm still not thinking how I really should be thinking, or at least at the time it was.
But no, you taking steps. You know what I mean? Like you taking steps and you getting things done. You know what I mean? Like slow motion is better than no motion. Look, when you look out here, you see plenty of people in no motion. You feel what I'm saying? If anything, they going backwards. You feel what I'm saying? So the fact that you are taking steps in the right direction and you see yourself getting better, and you can see yourself at 35. You say you got a son. How your son gonna look at you? Now you got to build him up, because one thing as a father we have to do, you love your kid for who they are, but the mother's supposed to love them for who they are. You got to love him for who he can be. You know what I mean? So that keeps him striving for more. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't love you for who you is right now. I love you for who I know you are. I love you for what I know you got in you. I know you can be something. You know what I mean? I know you can do better. Nah, I'm not gonna let you settle for this failure.
That's a nice balance. If you got that understanding with the mom, like, because sometimes people be wanting the message to be the same, and it's like you doing them a disservice if the message is not the same. But if we do have an understanding that, all right, your role in the space is to make sure you're taking care of the immediate, making sure he's good, making sure he's emotionally stable, he's eating, he has somewhere to stay, and that's my job too. But as far as how we motivate, you're taking care of the immediate, and I'm pushing for his future or her future. Yeah. Like that's a conversation that has to be had. But that's a good thing of understanding how our roles can differ, but we got the same plan. Whereas though, if that's not talked about, that's just a point to argue about. Like, no, you got to take care of him right now. You don't never think, and it's like, but you don't think about his future. Now we're arguing about that instead of it being a thing where we on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
We on the same team.
Nah, but that's a real job though.
We trying to get the same goal, but I'm going to be constantly like breaking him down.
Right.
And you got to be his place of refuge where he going to run to, and you going to just constantly build him back up. You feel what I'm saying?
But
like
send him back outside. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I got you. I'm gonna take care of him, but I'm sending him back outside though. Like he gonna come there, bitch, moan, whine, complain, cry, whatever he gonna do. I'm gonna make sure as mom he's good. But it's like, you know, you gotta go back out there with your dad though, right? You do know that. I got you, and you can come back in here as many times as you want, but you gotta go back out there with your dad. And it's like, he got to understand that too, where it's like, no, don't tell him that. And then it's like, nah, let her handle it because she's going to send him back out. Now, if he don't come back outside, now we got a problem. Right. Now we got to break down in our system, right? We got to break down. But that's a dope, the talking to, because we about to run out of time, yo, and I always appreciate it. And I do want y'all to tell people who y'all is, because Stan, you started talking without telling mine, like, come onto the screen a little bit so people can see the face and the voice that they hearing. Right. One of the that was two great points that I want to make sure that we lift up. Like, talk to your 5-year self. You might not need to go because mine's 23, so you might not need to go 35. You might say 30, but that's a good time for you to be able to look in the mirror as well. Be self-critical of yourself, not in a tear down yourself kind of way, but just like, all right, bro, what I ain't do last week, because if I don't do this right now, if I ain't doing this correctly, that 30-year-old person that I'm having the conversation to, these are the building block parts that's going to keep me from doing what I say I want to do for this 30-year-old person. So that, I think that is a dope way to be able to be self-accountable daily, or whenever you decide to look in the mirror and do it, because you do feel like you should look in the mirror and do it. It's not, I mean, you could do it anywhere, but you saying you should look in the mirror and do it, right? Wrong?
No, you can do it in the mirror, but, you
can do it anywhere. All right. Because I thought that was a part of it.
When I'm inspired, I said, he'll come talk to me.
Right.
I will see that, right?
Right. I got you. So I would say you don't have to use a mirror, but you can use a mirror. Yeah. The other thing was us being long-term thinkers. Like, we got to start really putting that in how we think and how we move, and getting systems around that. Again, shout out to the Village Restoration Project. Rakia, appreciate you. Khalif, Soleil, even though she started and then she stopped. Z and Anwar, I appreciate y'all. Nia, we got to learn who Nia was. Everybody thought Nia was somebody, and it wasn't bad or good either way. It was good always, all the way around, but people really thought Nia was somebody other than she was for a while. Not in a bad way. They just didn't know who she was. But she was really dope, and she still want to work with us, and we looking forward to working with her. So, real quick, names.
Oh, yeah, Stan. I'm Stan.
Stan Black Dirt.
Yeah, Black.
Black Dirt Farms. Like, no, just nothing. You go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Black Ranch and Community Farm, Eddie's house.
No doubt.
All that.
What's up with the brother down there that went to Ghana, just popped in the scene? Oh, no, my bad. Go ahead.
My name Maj. Well, Samaj. You feel me? These are my brothers. Nice to meet you too.
Everybody know I'm the substitute. So.
Yo, that's my guy. Yo, shout out to Carlita, man. Yo, this is what we doing, man. We just trying to build community, trying to push black folk forward. You know what I'm saying? We gonna save the planet like that, y'all. I'm gonna save the planet. Yo, you're not gonna save the planet. You don't look enthusiastic about saving the planet. All right, man. This is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Grace, Social Activism, Resources, and Art. I am the assist. African support and strength, inspiration and success together. This is a re-entry show owned and operated by returning citizens. I love black people. We out, y'all. That's what we doing out here. Appreciate you, bro. Man, the boy Mike, you